We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
Boom! Headshot!
Hey, it's Clay. How you guys doing? It's been a little while since I sat down to do a commentary. I got sick, caught a bad cold, and I haven't really been playing very much Battlefield lately. I've been playing a lot of other games. Kind of, like I said in a previous commentary, this is that time of the year when you really just kind of are waiting for the next Christmas releases. You're waiting to try some of those new games out. But this was a game I just kind of sat down on, playing some close quarters, using the MTAR, just kind of running around trying to have a good time. And, it kind of had this is one of the things I want to talk about. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Battlefield 3. And, I think Battlefield 3 overall was a really, really good game. And just kind of wanted to share my reflections, my experiences with Battlefield 3, and kind of how I look back on it, because, depending on how the next DLC goes, with the Aftermath, I'm actually pretty excited about it, but, I don't have too high of hopes. I don't know if it's necessarily going to revitalize the game, and, right now I think, looking at my Battlefield stats, I got over about 250 hours played, and I'm at rank 55. I don't know if it's going to give me that push to rank 100, and give me another 250 hours, but, maybe I'll probably buy it, and I'll probably, see if I can get some more enjoyment out of it, but I would say for the most part, Battlefield 3 is probably kind of losing steam for me. It's probably on its way out as in terms of the game that I play primarily, if that makes sense. Because I usually tend to have one game that I focus on at a time. That's just kind of how my mind works. Maybe I can do a couple if, maybe maybe one's like an RPG, and then the other one's more of a multiplayer, where you're focusing more on a single-player experience, just trying to, work your way through some leveling progression or something like that. But, in terms of my primary FPS, I think Battlefield 3 will probably be on its way out. But, to be completely honest, my number one reflection, looking at and seeing that I have almost 250 hours played, that's a long time. That is a lot of hours played. And I don't think I've ever put that much time into one game before. I don't actually have the statistics. I probably could look up, see how much time I put into Black Ops, but I guess maybe Steam would help, although I don't know if Steam goes back all the way, because I played a lot of Counter-Strike Source, I played a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops 1, and, those are probably my two biggest other first-person shooters, but I think Battlefield 3 was... I guess the first thing I would say is that it was a very pleasant surprise. It was not a game that when it launched, if you would have come to me and said, "Hey Clay, are you going to love this game? Are you going to put 250 hours into it? And you're going to just, it's going to be your primary first-person shooter for a while?" There's no way I would have said yes. Battlefield 3 was not on my radar. It was just when Modern Warfare 3 was as bad as it was. I mean, that was a total waste of $60. For Battlefield 3 to come along and really present something that was fresh and new and different, and it was really cool, it was just a breath of fresh air to me. It really was. And so I really appreciate it in that regard. I think that it was, the timing of Battlefield 3's release in my gaming experience was just perfect. And I think I want to say the biggest thing that I've kind of reflected on or learned about Battlefield 3 is how important it can be for a game to be immersive, if that makes sense. And when I say immersive, I mean, Battlefield 3, I think, does a better job than almost any other first-person shooter on the market at totally, putting you in the experience of war, if that makes it. It really, puts you... I mean, look at this map, this close quarters map. There's, sprinklers going off, there's explosions flying everywhere, there's debris blowing up, you're vaulting over stuff. I mean, the way that the gun mechanics work, the recoil feels so good. And the variety of guns and the way that they operate at different lengths and the way that the different attachments work together. I mean, all these things came together to create a really, really cool and immersive experience. I would definitely say that this game, almost more than any other, gives you a sense of immersion, that you are playing, you're not necessarily playing a video game, but you're actually in this experience. And actually, even looking at the new Medal of Honor stuff, I played a little bit of the beta and have been watching a lot of videos on it. and it's a step down in terms of graphics, in terms of the way that the guns handle, the way that the players move. Like, there are parts of the map that you just can't go to, and I don't even think you can vault. Like, the importance of that, I think, to making Battlefield 3 fun cannot be understated. It truly does, an amazing job at allowing you to feel like you're a soldier in war. And, I really want to commend them, because I think they've really raised the bar in that regard. And then when you combine that with the gameplay, I think Battlefield 3 did a great job with the gameplay. It was objective focused. There was a lot of variety, with Rush and Conquest, and a lot of the way that the different maps play. Consider the way that Rush plays on Operation Metro versus the way that Rush plays on Caspian Border. I mean, that alone, in terms of variety, is huge. And so I think in terms of gameplay, it also did a really phenomenal job. So I think overall, Battlefield 3 did a really great job at, combining this immersive, the graphics, the moving mechanics, the gunplay, all of those things were really top-notch. But then also including with that really fun gameplay. I think it did a really great job. And, as a whole, I really got to give this game a big thumbs up. It was a fantastic game. I definitely will always look back on it and just wonder at how much I played it. And it hasn't been perfect. I didn't get premium, and I'm glad about that. I don't think that the DLCs have been all that they were cracked up to be. I think that if there's anything as a community we've learned to really lower our expectations in terms of DLC, Close Quarters did a lot in terms of providing fun new weapons. Armored Kill, I think the jury's kind of still out, but for the most part, I feel like the consensus is that it's kind of a thumbs down, especially on Rush. So to kind of lower your expectations, and I think that's kind of something to remember about Aftermath. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be as big as, Back to Karkin was, but Back to Karkin is, those maps are tried and true. You've already got a formula there. You're just kind of bringing it into a new game. So it's kind of a different question. But as a whole, I really do think Battlefield 3 did a great job. The patching, I don't know, there's a lot of mixed opinions on the patching. There are good things, there are bad things. They needed to fix things, but they often took too long. And a lot of times they ended up changing things that maybe didn't need to even be changed. And that was a little bit obnoxious, but, as a whole, I do need to give Battlefield 3 a really big thumbs up. I think EA made a great product, and I'm really happy that I invested the time that I did into it. It was a great game. So in hindsight, I think that, I have a more fond memory of it than maybe I did while I was actually playing, which I think is kind of an interesting thing to say. But yeah, overall, Battlefield 3 gets a big thumbs up from me, especially in terms of immersion, and then bringing in some really fun gameplay mechanics that I just wasn't used to. I have never played something like Rush or Conquest before. It's its own thing. It's its own game, and it does it in a really fun way. So overall, like I said before, I don't know how much Battlefield 3 I'm going to be playing moving ahead, but I'm really happy with the time that I have put into the game so far. I think Battlefield 3 is a great game. So yeah, big thanks to you, EA, and happy birthday to you, Battlefield 3. You're a year old now, and maybe I'll fire you up a year after this, and I'll still look back lovingly. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section, your thoughts on Battlefield 3. I'd be really curious to know where you guys stand. Now that Battlefield 3 is a year old. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will hopefully get some more stuff to you guys soon. See ya.